Welcome to Voice After 50, the podcast for women of 50 and beyond who, like me, are navigating this complex, challenging, but also magnificent chapter of our lives. I'm your host, Beverley, and I'm so glad you're here. I'd like to start with a quick apology for the later than usual episode. Last week was my birthday, and I can happily say I spent the entire week celebrating it. No regrets whatsoever. Anyway, whilst I was living my best life and enjoying myself immensely, a few weeks prior to my birthday, I was all up in my head, overthinking and overanalyzing. And if you've been listening to my podcast, you'll know that I have a very small circle of friends. Actually, it's not even a circle. And when I say friends, I'm talking about the ones you can laugh with, cry with, share things with, knowing that they're safe and that you will not be judged or that you won't become the next topic of conversation. I also have a wider circle of friends, and I'm referring to the ones you go out with, take Instapics with, and then there's the peripheral friends, the ones you may connect with through a hobby or through work, or those who you have as friends on Facebook, or a combination of all of the above. So what's my point? Where am I going with this? Well, recently I signed up for a charity challenge that is close to my heart. I decided to do a walk 1K a day for Dementia UK to raise money for them. And as you know from my role reversal after 50, when you become the parent to your parent episodes, you'll find the link in the episode description. Dementia is something that is affecting my family right now. So I set up my Facebook page via the charity, sent out WhatsApp messages with the link, and pretty much posted to everyone I knew, asking for their support and donations, whatever they could manage. My target was set at £220. Achievable, right? 28 days in February to walk 1K a day and raise £220. So I enthusiastically posted a picture of myself with the charity's beanie hat on, big grin on my face. I should add here that I do not make it a habit of posting pictures of myself on social media, but for this cause, I would. I got a few likes and a few messages of support. For the first week, I uploaded screenshots of my walking tracker and then tumbleweed. Of all the people I had reached out to in my socials, literally only a handful acknowledged me, the cause, the aim. After the last day of the challenge, I checked the donations, £152. Now, I know that something is better than nothing, and fundamentally this wasn't about me per se, but it felt like at the time and during those tumbleweed times that it was about me. Not in the conceited, egotistical way, although if I'm completely honest, my ego was a little bruised when the person posting that they had a new toilet fitted got more of a response than me, but in a way where I literally felt invisible. For those I had reached out to, in person, they are all about the interaction, chatting, engaging. But this? What happened? And that's the thing about social media that I think catches a lot of us, and particularly women our age, completely off guard. We didn't grow up with it. We came to it as adults, as fully formed people who already had a sense of ourselves, or so we thought. Because it turns out that even at 58, even with everything I know and everything I've been through, a screen full of silence can make me question myself in ways I genuinely didn't expect. We live in an age now where value is performed publicly, where worth is measured in engagement. And even when we know that, even when we say out loud that we know that, it still gets in. Because we're human. Because visibility matters to us on a deep level. It always has. Long before smartphones, long before algorithms, the need to be seen, to be acknowledged, to matter to people in our lives, that's not vanity. That's not ego. That's just being a person. And my son, the ever straight-talking one, summed it up simply. People see a posting in the moment, and as soon as they go on to the next one, it leaves their radar. That's it. It's no longer at the forefront of their minds. The thing is, it took me by surprise how it made me feel. I felt a little insecure. Had thoughts taking me back to not being a part of the crowd at school. And I want to stay with that for a moment because it caught me off guard how far back those feelings went. I wasn't just feeling invisible in 2026. I was suddenly 14 again, standing at the edge of a group, wondering what it was about me that meant I wasn't quite included. Whether I was too much of something or not enough of something else. Whether people just didn't notice me, or worse, noticed me and chose to look away. Now, I know rationally, as a 58-year-old woman who has lived a whole life since then, that a Facebook fundraiser and a school corridor are not the same thing. But feelings are not rational. They don't care about the logic. They just arrive, and they bring luggage, old luggage. The kind you thought you'd unpacked years ago and left at the charity shop. And there it is, sitting in your hallway again. So my aim is to figure out how to bypass these feelings, which, by the way, is not the same as denying them. Not to take it personally, even if it could have been, and to focus on the positives that came from it. To change the internal negative self-judging, there must be something wrong with me narrative, to something that flips a switch, that changes the narrative, identifies what the positives were. So, what were the positives? Well, whilst walking, I thought about my mum and what a strong woman she used to be and is still trying to be, even though dementia is trying to steal this fierceness from her. How I enjoyed listening to my favourite music, including some of my mum's favourite music, walking in time and rhythm, and how that made me feel so joyful even when it was raining. That my son walked with me and we chatted and laughed and philosophised about the world and life. That those who did reach out to me and acknowledge me showed genuine support and affection, which made me realise who I could reach out to. That something is still a positive. Some headway was made and a contribution to the charity, no matter how small in the grand scheme of things, was still a contribution. A bit like taking one step to get to an amazing destination, you have to start somewhere. So, what's the point of all this oversharing? Simply this. I think, and I can only speak for myself here, that the power to shift how I processed and saw all of this was always mine. Not to pretend the sting wasn't real, because it was real. The silence stung. The tumbleweed stung. The toilet post getting more love than my dementia fundraiser, that definitely stung. But feeling it and being defined by it are two very different things. I got to decide what I was going to do with it. To look at what the experience actually gave me rather than what it didn't. Because there was something there if I was willing to look for it. And here's the thing, I found it. Mid-walk in the rain. Earphones in at times, listening to my mum's favourite song playing. Or my son walking beside me talking about something deep and profound the way he does. And in those moments, I wasn't invisible at all. I was exactly where I was supposed to be, doing something that mattered for someone I love. I'm 58, and I still got caught off guard by my own feelings about a Facebook post. That really surprised me. But what surprised me even more was realising, slowly, in that quiet way that realisations tend to arrive when you're not forcing them, that I actually had the power to shift it. Not to pretend it didn't sting, not to dismiss it or push it down or tell myself I was being ridiculous, but to choose consciously and deliberately where I put my focus. And maybe that's enough. Maybe that's actually quite a lot. And maybe that's the thing about this chapter of life. We're constantly learning and being caught off guard. But we do have something we perhaps didn't have at 25 or 35. The awareness, even if it comes slowly, that we get to decide what the story means. So, that's my Facebook fundraiser saga. Dementia UK got £152. I got a lesson in not outsourcing my self-worth to social media. And somewhere along the line, I had a genuinely lovely walk in the rain with my son. I'll take that. If you've enjoyed this episode, please do subscribe, leave a review, and share it with the woman in your life who'll get it. And if you'd like to support Dementia UK, please go directly to their website. I'll leave the link in the episode description. Because apparently, I'm not done asking. Go figure. Until next time, I'm Beverley. This is Voice After 50, and you are absolutely seen. Talk soon. A quick note. The content of this and all podcast episodes is for general information and entertainment purposes only. It's not professional advice, counselling or therapy. Please consult a qualified professional for any personal, medical or psychological concerns.